So, how to actually go ahead and create a list that has hundreds upon thousands of email lists, essentially contacts that you can actually reach out to that are personalized and like more tailored to the specific people you're going to reach out to. I just stumbled upon this earlier today, so I just wanted to actually go ahead and just like let you know about it. It's essentially leveraging this Apify scripting. I'll have it in the description, and the polo, which is apparently freezing because this Apify automation actor thing, it takes a lot of RAM, like a lot of memory. It says 1 gigabyte of memory here, but it's far more than that. I've had to reload this page dozens of times, but this is essentially what I did, right? So I have a client who he has a sales course, but then he ended up bringing on a business slash like a partner, another like partnership deal. And with that company, what that company is essentially doing is it has over like 200,000 like Mexican and Latin American employees in various fields. Some are like back end, within like the back end, front end, admin, assistant. If it's remote slash home based work, they have someone who will handle it. And what we're essentially going to be doing is reaching out to, that's why I'm creating this large list, because we're going to be reaching out or having him have a system that will automatically reach out to these American companies and essentially just telling them that, hey, we have we provide this service. We provide remote workers at a far more affordable cost than hiring locally. So that's essentially how that whole process works. So I really just leveraged ChatGPT to find out which specific I had listed. I told ChatGPT what the offer is, the type of prospects slash companies we're going to be reaching out to, as well as which people in the company to reach out to, right? Because the average company we're reaching out to has about 20 to 100 employees already, right? So I'm not going to be reaching out to the CEO because there's quite a low chance the CEO will actually read the email. So I was like, which job titles to actually go ahead and email? I got a couple of them. I didn't use all of them. I'd say I used this batch, this right here, and that got me a list of about 300 or something people. There it is, 100. I'm so wrong. 146,000 people. You can see like the job titles we searched. Whoop, and there it goes again. So yeah, that's what we're essentially doing. And so far we're at about 400, 1,400 people so far scraped. So it does look all over the place. I understand that, but just to show you a bit that it does actually give the information. Like we have the email, and then this is the things that essentially just state whether the email is validated or not, whether it's like a verified email or not. As you can see here, da 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 da. It also shows you the person's position in the company, the person's LinkedIn details. So you can also like add it into like the LinkedIn Sales Navigator to reach out to them via LinkedIn and email. The people's names, the company name, da 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 da, as well as some of the, it's somewhere here. I have no idea where. It also states like where they're based. It should also have like the company's LinkedIn link, which is really the main thing we're going to be using. If the company's LinkedIn link doesn't work, we're going to be using this. And what I'm essentially going to be doing is probably gonna have to set up automation with Integromat slash, it's called Make now, make.com. And what that automation is going to look like, because we want it to also be somewhat personalized. Although the cool thing about this type of people is I'd like to believe they don't get messaged a lot on cold email, is we're gonna essentially have upload the email list and then have the email list with the LinkedIn links and stuff get processed into copy.ai. Definitely a cool dude to actually check out in regards to how to set up copy.ai until I make a video. As of right now, as of the 5th of February, I do not have a copy.ai video on my channel, but I'll make one until I have one made. Definitely a guy you should check out is someone called Bradley OJ. There we go. So right, have that in there. The copy.ai, that's how you spell it. What copy.ai essentially does is it'll take the LinkedIn link and then create a personalized email for you. So then you can add that into the whatever email uh cold email thing you're gonna software you're gonna use, right? There are a ton of them out there, such as Active Campaign. There's I am a connoisseur when it comes to GMAS. I think 90%, 80% of my cold email campaigns have been through GMAS. Although there's other things such as Lemlist, there's what's that other one called that I used? This is the one I'm currently using quite a bit. Forget the name. Yikes. I forget the name, but it's like the main one I'm using. Let me actually find the name for you guys. Okay, I found it. It's called Instantly. That's the main one I've been using. Although Apollo itself, you can also use Apollo to do there it is again. You can also use Apollo. So those are the key ones that I'd recommend you use: Apollo, Lemlist. Although it's been a very long time since I used Lemlist. I don't know if it's still good. Instantly and Instantly. And there's also GMAS. I like GMAS a lot, although it has recently become super, pardon the phone call, it has recently become super like pricey compared to these options over here. Although it's also, if you don't mind paying the price, it's also it's far better than these three. Yeah, and of course from there you'd get some responses and book appointments. Although the super, if you're not savvy in terms of like cold email outreach, what I definitely suggest you leverage is have your initial email, and your initial email will ask if you can just send them a video on how the process works. If you can like record a short video for them on how the process works, they say yes, and then you go ahead, send them a pre-recorded Loom. None of this record a personal Loom nonsense. Make it a universal type of Loom, and then transition it from the Loom. We'll talk fairly bit a little about your service, and then request to have an appointment booked. Then you guys book an appointment, and then talk on the appointment and take it from there. Another pretty cool thing to do is just ask them for their phone number, and then call them up that way if you don't mind calling them up. I did that quite a lot back in my days. I was having to do like 100 to like 300 dials every single day. It's mentally taxing if you're selling a service that you aren't 100% sold on. I'm sure if I was doing it right now for my IPGA, I would, it would be far more enjoyable. Far more enjoyable. And how do you think you need to do 100 to 300 dials? Although the main thing with IPGA that I feel like I want to add, this is specifically if you're like in the helping professionals create their own community slash courses, online education, business, etc., etc., is, and this is definitely, I want to make a new loom talking about this, which is if the person doesn't have a social media following, right? Because that's super, super big, tell them that they need to spend at least $10 a day on ads, even if they're not paying you any sort of retainer and you're just collecting a percentage of the revenue. Very important. I actually want to add this because then it allows you to go from reaching out to just people that have like 50K plus followers on Instagram and all these other platforms to now you have pretty much access to any expert and you can help any expert go from zero to at the very least like $10,000 a month with just running ads for them. There is a specific way you do it, right? Like it would go from, if I'm not mistaken, it would go from like the like a you this is like the course slash community to having a very cheap like five to $17 lead magnet, which would transition them into here into buying this, and this would like cover the cost for running the $10 a day ad. And then the cool thing is if they don't, you have them in a daily email newsletter or at least a 3 times a week newsletter, which the newsletter's goal is getting the people to get put in here. And then, of course, making it mandatory for your client to make some form of content. And then, once you have a couple people in here, going from spending $10 a day into this thing into like maybe spending like $5 a day. And then the other $5 a day goes into growing your client's social media profile. Let's jump back into here. Let's see how many people we have so far. We have about like a list of 2,400, 2,400 people so far. It's pretty good. You're gonna see the same people here because it's still the page one. How you zoom in? Let's zoom in here. Should we zoom out? There we go. But yeah, that's pretty much it, really. Which was, oh yeah, man, the main point. I'm sorry, I didn't even write the script down or any sort of layout for this. I guess I'll let that be. Is the cool thing about this is what you're really doing here is you're going to be using Apollo to niche down the specific people you want to reach out to. You're segmenting it really. And then once you have it segmented, you can really then reach out to people and have specific emails for, okay, that's very weird. You can have specific emails for specific groups of people. For example, so if we were to use this for an example, which I personally have no zero intentions of doing that because there's like a different sort of roundabout rate. I'll plan on reaching out to these people because this is a very, very large list. Is if I was doing it for myself personally, for like my own company, I'll probably have it spread out into the restaurant niche and then have a specific sort of email campaign, which is like a specific email structure for people within the restaurant niche, and then a specific structure for people within the financial space, then a specific structure for people within the insurance space, whatever it may be, where you're just niching it a whole lot down. And you can niche it down even further. For example, if you're working with people in the real estate space, you can niche it down to mortgage brokers, you can niche it down to real estate agents, to uh, people that have their own, that are running like their own real estate franchise, right? So, for example, like brokers. That way, the email you're sending out to them is more specialized or personalized to them specifically. And once again, on the call, you're not asking them for, hey, would you be interested in hopping on a call? All you're asking for is, hey, would you be interested if I send you over a quick video that just explains what I do? That way you could find out whether or not it's something that'll even be worthwhile for you or not. Once they say yes, then you got them in, you send them over the Loom, and well, your Loom does the selling for you, right? Which is just really like consider your Loom a very, very short VSL. And if your VSL doesn't get them to convert, then make a better VSL until you get it right. I currently do not know what there is no, at least for me, there is no proven method that I have found to a VSL, to a loom, let's say VSL, the loom specifically. But I'm sure when I get to the point where I can wholeheartedly say I have a proven loom structure script, I'll go ahead and let you guys know. Of course, I'll also make another video going over what my current loom structure looks like. But yeah, talk to you guys later. Right now, I have to figure this out because 2,500 is nowhere near 140,000 leads. So we will talk later. Cheers.